Ms. Davies, you say that after being with Mr. Hunter for 5 years, he's now given into lies and rumors about your past, scrapped your wedding plans, and is now denying your son, Jaden. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hunter, you say you've never fully accepted that Jaden is your son because Ms. Davies has a questionable past. In fact, you say you believe you even caught her in the act of cheating on you. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Davies, Jaden is 4 years old. What took you so long to come to court?
Well, Your Honor, me and Devon, like you stated, have been together for 5 years, almost 6. And due to all the rumors, he no longer wants to get married. He has cut off our wedding plans. So I'm here today to prove that he is the father of Jaden.
You called off the wedding plans, Mr. Hunter?
Yes, Your Honor, because things I've seen, I don't really trust the things she do. I've seen too much to keep going on with this, so I have to make sure that this child is mine.
So this was once a very happy relationship, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Take me back.
Well, Your Honor, we met like 5.5 years ago through a mutual friend. I would say that we were happy when we first got together, but then I started finding text messages, phone calls from other females. So at that point of the relationship, Your Honor, I no longer trusted him at all.
Well, I found messages in her phone too, same thing. So that's why I started doing the things I was doing.
Messages from whom?
Messages like, when you coming out, can I come get you? When we gonna hang out?
From men?
Yes, from men.
Miss Davies, were you entertaining other men?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
You were?
Yes, because Devon was out with other females.
That's not true. I caught her first, so that's when I started.
You caught her doing what?
I caught her with her phone messages first, and then I started going out, stepping out.
That's a lie, Your Honor. After I seen the text messages, the females calling my phone, then I decided that, okay, two can play that game, and I decided to go out and talk to someone else.
Now, once you did that, what happened?
Well, once I did, I briefly had a relationship with a guy. We were sexually together a few times.
Did you use
Why
protection?
is it with me?
A couple times we did not, Your Honor.
All right. So that's pretty much why we're here.
Yes.
You find out you're pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor. He was denying my son from the gate. He's
No,
like,
I
are
did
you
not.
sure it's mine? I found messages, I know you were other guys, so are you sure this is my son? I said, yes, I'm sure this is your son.
How were you sure?
She wasn't.
Okay, I couldn't say I was 100% sure at the time, but I wanted Devon to be the father because he has been there in my life for, at this time, we've been together like 2.5 years.
All right, so now we're getting honest now, and
Right.
that's what we're here to do.
Right.
The truth is when you told him you wanted him to be,
Yes.
but you didn't know for certain.
Yes, Your Honor.
When she told you she was pregnant, Mr. Hunter, how about you? What did you feel in that moment?
Immediately I said I have doubt because it was just, I couldn't trust her. So that's why I came here. I need to understand what was really going on before we move on with our relationship.
When she told you she was pregnant, did she tell you she was 100% sure?
Yes.
So what were you basing this doubt on?
Rumors and things that I heard and seen myself.
What kind of rumors?
Like people tell me that she been hanging out, hopping in and out of cars, you know what I mean? I had a friend that told me they went to a party one time and she hooked up with some guy at the party. That was around the time when the baby was finna be conceived.
You're not denying it. You're just smirking, Miss Davies. What's the story?
I did go to parties, but as far as me hooking up with the guys at a party, that is false, Your Honor.
I
But
didn't
you
hear just one.
also just testified that when you told him you were pregnant, you told him that there was no other possible father. And then you've admitted in court today that that statement was untrue because you weren't 100% sure.
A liar.
So if you're not telling the truth now, why should he believe you were telling the truth then?
Well, Your Honor, he should trust me the same way I trusted him.
You all don't trust one another?
How could I trust
That's another
her?
lie in
How could I
court.
trust her when one day...
Your Honor,
No.
can I speak?
No, let me speak. One day, I'm at her house, right? She let me stay over her house. I had been drinking, so I wanted to go lay down, right? I accidentally fall asleep longer than I'm supposed to, so she's thinking I'm gone. She brings another guy and another girl upstairs into the room while
What?
I'm in there. So then she makes me leave.
That is true, Your Honor. That's true.
Okay.
That is true.
Now,
Well,
they were-
explain that.
And I did let him come over just because he was drinking. He said he needs to sleep it off for a while. So I'm thinking he's gone. And so I did come with the guy and the girl to my house and my room.
What were you bringing the guy and the girl in your room to do?
Your Honor,
I think we all know what that's finna do.
we did plan on having sexual encounter, me and the guy and the girl.
Now, is this a different guy from the guy you said that you were
Yes.
messing around with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so when you saw that, Mr. Hunter, were you certain that this guy was excluded from potential fathers?
I didn't even know the guy. I don't know how long she been messing with the guy or anything, so he could be the father.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
You act
Your
like
Honor,
I know. I do not know. I do not know the guy.
He has ex-girlfriends. They were calling my phone.
You know what, Ms. Davies? I don't doubt your testimony.
So I
Seems
felt
like you all
that
have
I
a lot
wanted
going
to
on.
step out and have fun too because he was doing it also.
He didn't get pregnant, you did.
You're right.
And that's why we're here.
You're right.
I mean, at the end of the day, we want to say it's a double standard, but really it's just biology. It's how we made. We get pregnant, we carry the children, and we often carry the burden.
Right.
Why the tears?
Because this is hurtful to hear all these things he thought about me.
You can't be too hurt right now, 'cause it's not the first time. I caught her in the kitchen. We sitting in the living room one day, and then she gets up and walks to the kitchen, and she's in the kitchen for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. She's supposed to came back already. I walk around to the kitchen, and she's damn near standing in between this guy's legs. Like, you know what I mean? What is that about?
What is this about? Because you say it
like
hurts
it's
to hear
numerous
you.
times.
You say, hold on now, Mr. Hunter, because you're not innocent, but I'm more concerned about Ms. Davies in this moment because she is the mother of this 4-year-old little boy, and we don't know who his father is. Ms. Davies, when you say, I'm upset because I didn't know he felt all these things about me, you do understand that these are things you've shown him.
Yes.
Because you're admitting in court that they happened. He's not just thinking it up, it happened. Now we know he was up to no good too.
No good.
Don't think I don't understand that. But when you are upset in this moment and you say, did you think he didn't know, or did you think?
I didn't think that he really believed all those things.
That people were saying about
Right.
you.
Right.
Because
Your Honor.
all of it isn't true, is what you're saying.
Yes. I'm going to admit to what the truth is, like I have done so far. But as far as me hopping in and out of cars with guys, leaving parties with guys, that's false.
What is Jaden's relationship like with Mr. Hunter?
He's present in the home, but he does not physically interact with Jaden.
Really?
It's a
Yes,
liar.
Your Honor. We just had a birthday party for Jaden. Devon didn't show up.
Why didn't you show up to the child's birthday party, Mr. Hunter?
And she gonna start tripping on me and all kind of stuff, 'cause we weren't, like at that time, she was mad at me anyway. So if I
Doesn't
would've
matter.
Came, if I
You're
would've
still
came
supposed
to
to
the
show up
party,
to
Your
his
Honor,
birthday party.
if I would've came to the birthday party,
But
she
if
would've
this
been jumping
potentially
all
could-
over me in front of all the guests at the birthday party.
But if this potentially could be your biological child, why wouldn't you just show up at the party? It's not about Miss Davies, it's about Jaden.
I
didn't even
understand,
show
but
up when I had the
I
baby.
didn't want to mess the party up, 'cause that's how she gonna do.
You felt like if you came, you all were gonna get into it and then the party
Exactly,
would be
the party was gonna
destroyed.
be over.
So my concern is this.
Yeah, I could do
You
more,
two
but I do the
are
best
living
I
together
can.
now.
Yes.
So for 4 years, you've been having this dispute.
Right. And during our relationship, he was denying that he was even with me the whole time we were in the relationship.
And so this just led you to feel insecure.
Lonely. And I wanted to have someone that's there with me all the time because he was out of the house
'Cause she would kick me
90%
out.
of the time.
She would kick me out like every week.
Yes, because
Every week.
I'm always
Yeah.
finding text messages. You want to come home at 4 and 5 in the morning.
It happened like twice.
So yeah, I was kicking him out.
Twice too many.
I had good reasons, though. I had a party. We was at a party.
When did a party become good reason to stay out to 5 o'clock in the morning when you have a girlfriend at home? And a 4-year-old son.
I have
What
physical
grown
proof,
man
Your Honor.
does that?
He's the father.
It only happened twice, Your Honor.
Only twice you stayed out till 5 in the morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jerome, what day did you get to stay out till 5 in the morning?
I didn't do it.
Right.
So, Miss Davies, I heard you just say, I know for certain I have proof.
I have evidence right here.
Jerome, may I see that?
Look at Mr. Hunter's hair and look at my son's hair. They both have curly hair, nice hair. My hair is nothing like that. My hair is nappy. I need a perm.
Can I just say, both of their hair look a mess, but I'm gonna give the baby a pass.
All right.
I was getting mine done, Your Honor.
And I understand you're looking at texture of hair. Don't say good hair, baby. All hair, if you have some, is good.
All right.
Now listen, the next piece of evidence is what?
The height of my child, Your Honor.
A height chart. Explain this to me.
Well, the average 4-year-old, Your Honor, is only 40 inches tall, which Jaden is 48 inches tall already.
All
my
right.
whole family and everyone on the side of my family is short. The other possible father, he's average height, which Devon is 6'1".
So you feel like Jaden is tall?
Jaden is tall.
And Mr. Hunter is tall?
Yes,
The other guy, not so tall.
not so tall.
Next, you submitted a photo. Oh, he's so cute.
Thank you. Jaden and Mr. Hunter, they're both slew-footed, Your Honor. I don't know if you know what that means.
I do.
All right, which means that both of their feet goes out like this, and they stand just like that. He had to get that from Devon.
Now, I see it in Mr. Hunter, but do you really think Jaden
Yes.
looks slew-footed right
in that
there?
picture, he's probably like playing or trying to do something else. If it was another picture, when he stands, they stand just alike, Your Honor. Both of their feet are pointed outwards.
Now, do you think this slew-footed trait is genetic?
I think so. No one in my family is slew-footed, Your Honor. The other guy isn't slew-footed. Devon is, and so is my son.
Okay. So, Mr. Hunter, if today's results prove that you are not Jaden's father, where do we go from here?
I'm done. I'm done with the marriage and everything. I'm just wash my hands with everything.
And if you are you gonna try to rebuild trust, put your wedding bands back on, and you all try to pull this thing together?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm willing. That's why we're here. I'm willing to move forward, put all the trust issues we have behind us, so that I don't want Jaden feeling that how I'm feeling that his father's not there for him.
He knows who I am.
With these
He knows
results,
just
this
who I
is
am.
either gonna push us forward, or I guess we're done.
And that's why these results are so important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have them for you. Jerome, thank you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Davies versus Hunter, when it comes to 4-year-old Jaden Favors, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Hunter, you are not the father.
I told you.
I'm very
Told
sorry.
you. Don't cry now.
Oh my God.
Ms. Davies, are we to assume that this other gentleman is Jaden's biological father, the one you spoke about in your testimony, or is there someone else? Let's be honest.
No, there's no one else, Your Honor. I know the other guy has to be the father.
Jaden is 4 years old. That means his entire life he's thought Mr. Hunter is his father?
Yes.
Calls him daddy.
Yes.
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 How long has this engagement been?
Probably
Maybe 4 or 5 months.
We was gonna get married.
Mr. Hunter, is it possible to still grow this relationship and figure things out?
Your Honor, I'll still be there for him, but I'm not dealing with her no more. I can't do it.
I can see this upsets you very much too, Mr. Hunter.
Yes, it does, really. And just for her to sit there and lie like that, I just don't understand it.
You do. You all created, it was just an environment of infidelity. Back and forth. You're supposed to be in a committed relationship. You're supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriend. And both of you all are just sleeping with other people. As you can see, 4 years later, the main person that's going to be hurt in this entire equation is Jaden.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor, you say your fiancée, Ms. Jackson, dropped a bombshell on you when she was 9 months pregnant and told you that you may not be her child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
She later changed her mind and said you are Raymond's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And while you're hoping he's yours, you're here today to prove that Raymond is not your biological child.
No.
Ms. Jackson, you admit to an affair during the window of conception with Mr. Green, who will join us momentarily, but you are in court today to prove to Mr. Taylor that he is your son's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Taylor, what is riding on today's results?
Well, this relationship, I've been through too much. I've done too much for the kids. I've been there since day one, raising this kid, fathering the kid, clothing the kid. I do everything for this child. And the only thing that I do know is that if this child ain't mine, I'll be walking out this courtroom today a single man.
You all are engaged. You have a family together. So there is a lot at stake here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
In your opinion, do you believe he has a right to doubt this?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I believe that he has a right to doubt it because I gave him the right to doubt it, but I feel that he knows how much I care for him, and I am praying today that these results show that he is the father of Raymond because our relationship is riding on it.
How did you end up cheating? What happened in the relationship that drove you to do that?
A few years ago, we just packed up and we moved to Florida for a fresh start, and I met Mr. Green in a shelter. And we ended up becoming intimate, but Mr. Taylor left me and my children stranded in Florida while he went away to, I guess, chase his dreams, knowing that we had nobody and knowing that we had nothing. And I felt alone, and I felt as if I had no one. And I felt that Mr. Green was there for me when Mr. Taylor was not there for me.
Mr. Taylor, did you leave her stranded?
Yes, for a job opportunity in Atlanta. You gotta understand, it was my girlfriend and our kids in a shelter. I couldn't do nothing there because it wasn't no job opportunities in Orlando. It was one in Atlanta, so I went for it. I tried to get in contact with her. When she was there, she was at a youth shelter. She was at a youth shelter, and at the youth shelter...
He didn't try to get in contact with me.
At the youth shelter...
I tried to get in contact with him. I didn't even know that he was in Atlanta for 2 days. I was blowing his phone up, calling him, and he was like, well, you're going to be upset when I tell you where I am.
You're lying.
And he was like, I'm in Atlanta.
Wait a minute. Wait. So he left for a job because he said he couldn't find work.
He left for a possibility of a job. He left because he felt that there could be more opportunity of a job here than it was in Florida.
The point is you moved to Atlanta because you thought you could make things better, to get a better life.
No, I knew I could make things better, and I did.
And you did.
He didn't.
I did. When I called to try to reach for her, she was having an affair with Mr. Green.
I had no one to turn to but Mr. Green. Mr. Green was the person that was
there for me.
And
what Mr. Green did for you? I've been here taking care of these kids. Mr. Taylor didn't send any money. Raymond got my last name. Where Mr. Green at?
Mr. Taylor didn't send any money while he was away.
All right. Let me hear you one at a time because I want to understand this.
This supposed job opportunity that he had, during this job opportunity, he never sent me or the kids any money. We barely had any contact with him. There was no one for me to turn to but Mr. Green. He was the person there for me, giving me emotional support, you know? That was what I needed at that time.
So how long after Mr. Taylor left for Atlanta did you turn to Mr. Green?
A few weeks.
3 days later, she was pregnant by October 12th. I left September 14th. That was less than a month.
No,
That's
I
a lie.
I didn't do it right away.
Ooh, I'm so mad.
If he would have never left us there in the first place, this whole situation could have been avoided. If he would have just been a man about the situation, be a man about the situation.
They have no money.
Leave a message.
Kids was on the verge of getting taken away.
I'm going to go.
He's saying,
I
but Ms. Jackson,
When I left, it was
you
too
never
much
sent no
money.
money.
Let's get some order.
Job.
Let's get some order. When he left, he says he left to get the job, and he said he tried to call you. Do you believe he just left and never called? Is that what you believe?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm certain that he did. I received every other message from the shelter. I received every other message.
So when you're at the shelter and you're
right?
not getting messages, in your mind you're saying, he just left us.
I was calling him as well, Your Honor. I was blowing his phone up for 2 days straight, leaving voicemail. I was calling off of another resident's phone, leaving text messages. So if he turns his phone on, even if he doesn't receive the voicemails, he received the text messages of me asking him where was he at.
Right.
So he knew.
So the bottom line is, you thought you left to better the family.
Yes.
You thought he just left.
Yes.
And so then you get involved with Mr. Green.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you all deciding to be boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah,
Were
we
you
wiped
just
up,
having
boyfriend and
a
girlfriend.
sexual relationship?
It was a rebound thing, Your Honor. It was a rebound. He was going through a situation with the mother of his child, and I was going through a similar situation with Mr. Taylor. And we connected on that level because we were both going through the heartache of losing someone that we cared about and still wanting to be in that relationship. You know, it wasn't right, but it was emotions at the time. You cannot control your emotions when you feel that you want someone and you know, I want Mr. Taylor to be there, but I couldn't have that at the time. So I felt that I wanted someone there to care for me, Your Honor.
So because I left to try to better the family, that gave you the justification to cheat? Because you were still in a relationship
We weren't technically together.
Yes, we was.
If somebody leaves you and your kids with nothing, you're technically not together. You don't have to say we're broke up for us to be done.
So you saying if your husband leave out of state for a job opportunity, y'all single? I left September 14th. She was pregnant on October 12th. Now you tell me, you know how long it takes to conceive a child, right? You know how long it takes afterwards to find out that you're pregnant. It takes a minimum of 3 weeks. So it tells you that she was intimate with him within a week of me leaving. To her to find out by the 12th, 28 days later that she was pregnant.
In your statement to the court, you said you didn't learn about this until she was 9 months pregnant?
Yes.
Explain.
Well, a guy that was on Facebook, he inboxed me, basically telling me that LaJoy was pregnant by Mr. Green. So that was my first time even hearing about it. I confronted her.
Now, have you talked to her? You've been talking to her on the phone?
Yes.
And she's never mentioned I'm pregnant?
No, but I confronted her about it.
We didn't have a lot of contact with each other,
Yes, we
and
did.
I was still having a lot of, emotional depression over
she made
our
good
relationship.
Facebook contact saying it was Umar Jr. though.
The only reason that I did that, Your Honor, is because I felt as if I was holding on to the last strand of our relationship. I knew that if I told him about Mr. Green possibly being the father, that he would be gone and there would be no chance of us. So I wanted to try to have him for just a little longer. I love this man. This is my heart. I should have thought about his emotions too, that he was gonna get attached to the child. And, I didn't think of that. I just put myself first. And I told him, I tell you all the time that I love you.
I wanna understand this clearly. You're 9 months now. Mm-hmm. You didn't find out she was even pregnant.
I found out she was pregnant, but I thought it was by me.
At the 9-month mark is when you learn about Mr. Green.
Yes, officially.
When does she change and flip the script and say, now it's Mr. Green's?
I got incarcerated for driving without a license, and I was only locked up for like a day. And then I got out of jail and went to go see her, and that's when she told me about it.
And then what was your reaction?
I was mad. I didn't know what to do.
And so at the point you told him, Ms. Jackson, what you just needed to lay it all on the line,
It took me so long to tell him because that's hard. How do you tell somebody that you love that you did them so wrong,
You love somebody, how much you want to do them wrong?
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes,
That big
Your
of
Honor.
a mistake.
Everyone makes mistakes, even though my mistake was a great mistake. And if I could take it back, I would, Your Honor, but I can't. And I pray, I'm praying that he is the father.
While I was gone and she was pregnant, she was trying to get Ryan the whole time to be with her. Be with me. I want
No,
can I
that's
name the
not true,
baby
Your
after
Honor.
you? Man, I put this on my daughter, man. She had a Magic Jack app on her phone. When you on Wi-Fi, you could text people. She was texting him. She was asking, can I name the baby after you?
Who is she texting?
Mr. Green, can I name the baby after you? This, that, and the third. Mr. Green said, no, won't want no parts. And then when I come around, okay, since he don't want to be there, after she pursued to try to get him in the picture, he didn't want to, she throw me in the picture.
That's
why I believe.
entirely, he knows.
What? That's
He
true.
knows the situation behind that. Your
Man,
Honor,
whatever.
I was messaging Mr. Green because I knew that he was potentially the father of my child.
Whatever.
And yes, I was messaging him trying to be on his good side because I didn't want us to be on bad terms.
How did you see her messages? You looked through her
I
phone?
went through her phone.
And you could see it all there.
I can't trust her.
Jerome, it's time for me to hear from Mr. Green. Will you please escort him into the courtroom?
Right up here, watch your step.
Mr. Green,
How you doing, Your Honor?
sit up straight for me in
Yes.
court, young man. You did have a sexual relationship with Ms. Jackson.
Yes,
Am
ma'am.
I correct?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What was the nature of that relationship?
I guess I met her in the shelter, and when I met her, she told me that he had left her for a rap career in Atlanta, just left and didn't want nothing to do with her, had nothing to do with her, didn't want to take care of the kids. So I'm
I
sitting
heard
there
what
and I
you just
feel
said,
bad.
right?
So I sit there, I feel bad. She got 2 kids. So I sat there and I felt bad. We vibed, and then I was going through stuff with my baby mom at that time. Then it went to, and then it got to a physical level. When we left the shelter, I just got, I got my place, my condo, 2-bedroom bathroom by myself. I got that. So I told her that she can come stay with me because I don't want her on the streets, The whole time she be laying in bed with me. I look over, she messaging him stuff.
Really? You see
the
that
light,
she's
right?
messaging Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, I didn't really know what for. So I didn't really care. But like I said, she told me he didn't care. He stranded me down here with the kids. He don't care about the kids. So I'm assuming it's all right. It's what it is,
Yeah.
So, Ms. Jackson, it sounds like you saw this as a potential relationship.
It was a partnership.
It was shacked
But,
up.
Your Honor, I was financially unstable. After I left the shelter, I didn't know where I was gonna go from there. So, for a
So,
month.
okay, now I want to understand this. You move in with
I
Mr.
know.
Green.
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
know.
At what point do you go back to Mr. Taylor?
When he dropped her.
No, he didn't drop me. I left.
When he dropped her.
No, I left.
When he dropped her.
So wait a minute,
know
Mr.
the
Green,
story.
is that, how you know the story? From the text
too
you
much
saw it
clues.
on the phone?
No, too much clues. I'm an intelligent person, Your Honor. Too many clues. Too many clues. Everything I'm saying is
Your
from
Honor,
clues.
this man
Just
thinks
like
he's
this
the
child ain't
smartest
mine.
man in the world.
Just like this child ain't mine.
He knows
I'm
it's a
quite more smart
possibility.
than you.
Hold on, let's not get out of control. The story is you did ask her to leave the house.
We got in an argument. Everything went downhill from there. And after that, she had to go. I'm not gonna lie. Took stuff, put it outside. I don't have.
Your Honor, he is crazy. This man is crazy. I left, Your Honor. After the argument, it wasn't that he put me out and put my stuff out.
How did you end up back with Mr. Taylor then?
When I went back to Michigan, we ended up talking and we got back together.
Was this before or after Raymond was born?
This was before. This was while I was just,
While she was still telling me it was mine.
You're back now with Mr. Taylor during the pregnancy.
yes, Your Honor.
And the child's last name is Taylor.
Yes, Your Honor.
After she asked him, can she name it
That was-
Ryan Green, and he wasn't going for it.
So you did get a text that asked, can I name the
She
child?
been
Blow
bothering
it
me
down.
for 2 years trying to get this.
Blow him
I
down.
haven't
Blow
had
him
any
down.
contact with him since
Blow
my
him
son
down.
was
I
a
wish
month
I wish I
old.
could put up my
Blowing-
Facebook right now. All the messages you trying to ask me to get DNA test. Stop stunting them, please.
Right, that
Please.
means you're a deadbeat. If
Please.
you know that you're a potential father, why wouldn't you want to take a DNA test to see if this your child? That's deadbeat status.
You should know who the father is. That's your issue right
doesn't
there.
matter.
Because I'm here and he
It's
here.
about you.
Why?
If you know that
Maybe
you're
you've
a
been
potential
faithful to
father,
me
you
with nice issue.
Let's get some order. Ms. Jackson, I thought it was our understanding that you believe Mr. Taylor was the father.
Your Honor, I don't know which one is the father because
Okay.
I had sex with both of them.
all-
around
That-
the
that
time.
is.
Thank you. That's
She don't
what.
know.
That's
Well,
it.
knowing that-
That's why we're here, just to tell the truth. So the bottom line is you really don't know. You
Yes,
told
I
him
know.
he was the father. You messaging him as well
Telling him he the father.
because you don't know.
Yes.
Okay, that's the truth. You
Like-
signed the birth
That's it.
certificate.
No, I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I was away from me not to sign it because I probably would have signed it and probably would have paid child
But
support right
now,
for a child that
Mr.
ain't mine.
Taylor, you have stepped up to the plate
Yeah,
and you
I do
support
everything.
the children.
I do everything for all her kids.
Thank you.
Clothes, I got that. Food, I got that. They want to play, I got that. I'm their best friend. They all tell you. They play with me. more than their own mama. I'm the playmate. Daddy, let's play. Let's play fire truck. Let's play dinosaur. Let me climb on your back. Let me play tickle claw. Little games that we made up.
And if this child is yours, after hearing the testimony presented today and understanding that a few more clues have come together in your minds, can you then still work on this relationship?
Don't do it.
I don't know.
Mr. Green, what if it's determined that Raymond is your biological child? Then what?
Then it's my child. I want something to do with the child. I don't want nothing to do with her. That's dead. They ain't nothing.
You're a deadbeat.
You don't want a daddy, you want a permanent babysitter for your children, all right? You want to be able to go
No, I
out.
don't.
You don't want
I don't
no
need
father,
a
all right?
babysitter.
You
I don't need a
that.
permanent baby.
All right,
All right.
let's calm down. Let's go to the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Taylor versus Jackson, when it comes to 3-year-old Raymond Taylor, as to whether his biological father is Mr. Taylor or Mr. Green, it has been determined by this court. His biological father is Mr. Green.
I figured. That's fine. If that's mine, that's good. And I respect you for being there.
I was about to say, you got a good child, though.
Ms. Jackson, I know that was not the news you wanted today. So where do we go from here?
It's over.
Ms. Jackson, I know you were hoping that the result would be different today because you wanted to save your family.
Your Honor, I honestly don't know where to take it from here.
That's why I'm here. You're seeking comfort under the covers. When something goes wrong, when you feel fear, when you feel scared, you jumping in the bed with a man because maybe he can save me. Baby, you got to save yourself. Mr. Lewis, you say you've always known the defendant is your father and say his paternity denials are mere excuses as to why he was not there for you. You hope today's results put an end to this 44-year-old mystery. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. McAlister, you claim that years of doubt have given you reason to believe that you are not his father, but you may know who is. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are ready to prove your case today. Mr. Lewis, how has Mr. McAlister's denial affected you?
Well, growing up in South Central Los Angeles, it was tough not having a father there, knowing that you have one, just different things that went on through my life that, not having a man there to answer different questions, it made things a lot tougher for me coming up, but thank God that everything worked out.
So, Mr. McAlister, do you hear Mr. Lewis's testimony?
Yes, I do.
It was very difficult growing up knowing he had a dad, but that he was nowhere to be found.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that? Were you doubtful all of these years?
Yes, ma'am. And the reason why I was doubtful is because I heard maybe 3 or 4 different versions of who the dad was, and that put doubt in my mind. And I would just like to know before I leave here what the actual truth is.
So, Mr. McAlister, can you tell the court what was the nature of your relationship with Mr. Lewis's mother?
Me and Miss Lewis, we attend the same high school together, and I knew her as a casual friend. However, the young lady that I was dating at the time, we either had our differences or whatever, and somehow me and Mrs. Lewis hooked up for an evening. And never talked to her from that point on.
So what did you hear about the relationship, Mr. Lewis?
Well, my mom, because the type of woman she was, she didn't want to allow the turmoil from that affair interfere with my life. But as a woman,
what
we
did
had
she
to
say
move on.
specifically?
She let me know who he was as a father. She had a picture of him. She gave me this picture, with his,
So was this some defining moment in your life when your mother said to you, I want to tell you who your father was, or was this always just...
No, it was clear, yeah.
It was
Clearly.
clear?
It was clear, yeah. When I found out, yeah, when she told me.
And so when you got this picture and you had the name, and did you ever say, I want to look for him? Where is he?
Yeah, at that point in my life, I definitely wanted to know who he was. I was roughly probably a junior in high school, so I had a lot of things going on that I had already made it that far without a father. So, I mean, it would have been nice to know who he was, but at that point, I still had business to take care of. So it was, it's kind of a bittersweet situation. I wanted to know, but I was kind of, moving on with my life.
So she gave you the picture of him when you were in high school?
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Okay, so Mr. McAlister,
Yes, ma'am.
all of this time, Mr. Lewis says it wasn't until high school that he even got a picture of you from his mother.
Mm-hmm.
All this time you never knew you potentially had a son?
No, ma'am. I traveled to Los Angeles back in '81, and I ran into a relative of the family. And this individual told me that their relative had my son. And I got the information and I called Mrs. Lewis and I asked her, do we need to talk about something? And she said, no. I said, what about your son? What's going on there? I heard X, Y. She said, his dad is dead. I said, his dad is dead? She said, yes, his dad is dead.
So then at that point, you figured the mystery had been solved. Maybe this family member was wrong. I do not have a son.
Yes, Your Honor. I also heard that it could have been my first cousin, Michael. And unfortunately, I don't know. I also heard that, as I said, that a family member told me there was someone from the location, the city that I stayed in. And then I also heard from the mom that he died. So those are 4 different versions. So as I said, before I leave here, I just felt that it's just important that I know for sure.
Where are you getting all these versions from?
The young lady that I was dating back during this time, she was the first one that brought it to my attention because she knew me very well. She knew I'm an accountable man. She knew what my morals were. I used to look down on men that would not be supportive to their son. And for me to could possibly fall into that category, that was something that I was not trying to do. And if that was the case, I wanted to correct that and make the best of it. And that's one of the reasons why, me being a man, trying to stand up.
And you heard that Mr. Lewis's mother potentially slept with your cousin Michael.
That is correct.
And Michael is deceased.
Yes, ma'am.
And so what's so fascinating is as I look at the court papers, I see that Mr. Lewis's full name is Jermaine Michael Lewis.
I never even looked at that like that.
And Michael is your cousin's first name.
That is correct.
So, Mr. Lewis, I have to ask you, have you ever heard anything about Mr. McAlister's cousin or your mother potentially having a relationship with him?
Never.
So, tell me about life growing up without a dad. I mean, you stand here now, you are, such a respectful young man.
Thank you.
But what was life like?
It was tough, and I mean, growing up, I thank God I gravitated to football because there were opportunities to get into gangs being in South Central Los Angeles. My mother, she protected me because I'm sure there was opportunities that she let him know. That's why when she told him, and I'm not sure if she did say that, but I can see my mother, if she did say he was dead, it was to protect me because we had already moved. Things were, you know what I'm saying? When he didn't show up and do what he was supposed to do, and she knew that, she had to move forward. Single mother, you know what I'm saying? She had to do what she had to do.
If a woman is pregnant, they would let the father know. She's never told me that she was pregnant by me. She's never told me that I was his father. To today, when I finally found out about that there was a possibility here, I reached out to him and I told him I was gonna be coming to Los Angeles and I would like to meet him. Me and my ex-wife was going on vacation. And
How old was Jermaine then?
He was 16 at the time.
Okay.
And we met and everything, and I just wanted to get to know him. I wanted him to get to know me.
Well, I have to ask you this. Why, if you were told definitively that his father had passed away by his mother, why are you now making these gestures, trying to connect with this young man?
Because of a credible friend of mine that I dated for years told me that there was a gentleman that was looking for me saying that I was his father. And my thing is, whoever's looking for me that's saying that I'm their father, I need to talk to this person. So that's what I did. My thing is, again, like I said, before I leave here, within myself, I just need to know the truth.
This is such a mystery. So at the point when his mother said his father's passed away, you move on.
Right.
10 years later, someone you're dating and someone you trust, someone you feel like
Yes,
wouldn't
Your Honor.
lie to you says,
Your Honor.
there's a young man saying you're his father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So then you revisit this issue that you had put to bed for 10 years because you thought the door was closed.
However, directly to the son this time. The first time I reached out to the mom. The second time I find out that there's a young man looking for me, so I reached out directly to the son.
So when he reaches out, Mr. Lewis, what do you think? Do you remember that day?
Yeah, I remember it.
What happened? Take me back to that day.
It was bittersweet because I totally felt that he came around because things in my life were good. You know, me playing football, I had some scholarship offers, and it's like I heard more from him in that span than I had in the 16 years of me living. So that's why things to me kind of seem fishy. Like all of a sudden, now that you see you have a son and he's doing well, now you're picking up the phone. Because like I say, where we're from, it's tough for us not to know who we're, you know, it's really tough because it's such a small community, you know, and I believe in my heart, I know my mother wouldn't lie to me, you know, when she told me who he was. I'm sure he knew. That's why he didn't quit continuing to try. You know what I'm saying? And then since we go back with names, my brother's name is something Jermaine something, his son. So why would he name his son, middle name Jermaine, my name, if he didn't know?
I'd like to hear from your witness. Please stand, ma'am. State your name for the court.
Dominica McAlister, Your Honor.
Ms. McAlister, what relationship are you to Mr. Lewis?
That's my brother. I'm his sister.
And you are also
Mr. Derek's daughter.
Mr. McAlister's daughter.
Yes.
Tell me about the first time you met Mr. Lewis.
I was very young, and Mr. Lewis was in town visiting, and I remember my father telling me that it was a cousin that was visiting initially. Later, after Mr. Lewis left and went back to LA, my father sat me down and told me that that was my brother, and he wanted to know how I felt about having an older brother.
Do you believe he's your brother?
Absolutely, without a shadow of doubt. I don't have any doubt.
All right.
Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. You may be seated. So, Mr. McAlister, if you had very real doubt, why would you sit your daughter down and say, this is your brother, you have a brother?
Actually, Your Honor, in the beginning, when it was told to me, after I got with Jermaine and he said I was the father, I accepted it. I just took ownership of it because I knew I had been with his mom one time. However, the rumors that was told to me by the mom never saying anything to me, and Jermaine is correct, that I named my son Jermaine. I named his middle initial Jermaine because I remember hearing that was his name, and I didn't want to forget that name. However,
Wow.
That's the reason why I named my son that. However, this is a 40-year deal here, and the reason why I'm here today is because one of the times I had a conversation with Jermaine not long ago, and he tells me, well, you know, the thing that hurts is a bitter pill that you don't think you're my dad. Now, I had never told him that, but once he put that out there, I couldn't lie. I said, yeah, I did, and I do have my doubts. And I never knew anything about a football scholarship or anything. He was 16 years old. The young lady only told me that he's a good young man and he's playing football. The rest of the stuff that he's saying, I had no idea.
Oh, listen, and you know what, Mr. McAlister, the truth is, I can almost believe that.
Absolutely,
I mean, look, a football scholarship is really not gonna do anything for you.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
Absolutely.
but I do understand how this young man could have a completely different perspective as to what was
Absolutely.
going on and why
Absolutely.
you weren't around than you did.
Absolutely.
But look, you have 4 different stories that have been told to you.
Absolutely.
That's, in this courtroom, that's what doubt is made of. And the biggest part of that doubt is making that call and his mother saying his father's dead. Many people would have been like, well, I don't know why he's saying that, because his mother said that his father had passed away, so it's not me. So the fact that you then re-entered it makes the mystery, it's so layered. This is truly fascinating. I think the only way we're really going to move forward and understand how we really got here is to get the results. Jerome, I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Lewis versus McAlister, when it comes to 44-year-old Jermaine Lewis, it has been determined by this court. Mr. McAlister, you are the father.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What are you feeling in this moment, sir?
I feel grateful and gratitude that now I know the truth. If I had known he was my son, a fleet of elephants wouldn't have been able to keep me away from him.
What do you feel, Mr. Lewis? Can you tell your dad?
I mean, it's I'm willing to do, whatever it takes. We can definitely try to make it work, but I mean, I'm a different person because of my situation,
Absolutely.
what I've been through. So, and I can't apologize for that, from what I've been through.
Oh, you have no, as far as I'm concerned, you have no apology. You were the innocent person. There's nothing for you to apologize to about.